welcome back. We're going to finish chapter 3 today. We did it in 2 parts just because it was a little lengthy. Remember that I am just simply commenting on Richard Simmons' book, True Measure of a Man, and I hope you're enjoying it because we're getting to the deeper parts of it now. By the way, if you're in a small group and want to do chapter 3 as one long discussion, that's fine, but it's 30 pages or close to that. So I just decided maybe it'd be a good idea to split it up. Now on page 27, I want us to get into the discussion, and he brings us to consumerism. He says, today we are what most economists would describe as a consumer-driven economy. When once it was enough just to make enough money to subsist, to have a roof over your head and eat, now we are considered a country of consumers, so that what I buy makes a difference in my life. Not that I just eat food, but I eat the best food. Simmons calls us conspicuous consumers. And he says this: we have become a nation, this is on page 28, of conspicuous consumers. We purchase cars, homes, and all types of items, not for their functionality, but rather to make a statement on our status to an audience that we hope will be watching us. He also points out in his second point on 28 that we are driven by social media and want desperately to be celebrities. Of course you care what I had for dinner last night. I took a picture of it and sent it to you and posted it on Facebook and posted it on Twitter. Of course you care that where I ate and what I had. By the way, I don't really care what you have for dinner. What does what I had as food matter to anyone? Just saying. Page 29, he said this. He says, success now has more to do with public image and the appearance of success. That's why I want you to know where I am. That's why I post to all the social media. I want to be a mini celebrity in your life. This quote on page 30 by Christopher Lasch, author of The Culture of Narcissism, said it best. He says, men would rather be envied for their material success than respected for their character. Envied for their material success, rather respected for their character. Simmons says a sobering thought. I would definitely agree. And poor old Willy Loman, in The Death of a Salesman, we're like him in that we have, on page 30, we have in some measure built our identity on how well we perform and how well we have won the approval of others. We are concerned about the opinion of others. We've been talking about that, this idea that I am performing for an audience. Most of the time, I don't even know what the audience or who the audience is. He says on page 31, many a man's first question when making the decision is usually, how does it affect me in the eyes of others? And their second question, what will they think of me and will I win their approval? Page 32, how do I want to be remembered? How do I want my life to be considered? What do I want it to be about when it's over? So we're faced with that question, but that is the bottom line. If a person gets his identity in life based on the most important person, that's reminded us on page 35, the question is, who is that audience? And here are 4 statements that he makes on page 34. If we truly want to be delivered from our addiction to perform and impress, we must discover a new audience. Now stay with me because this is key to this book. His second point, what would happen if we let the person who determines our worth be God? What if God was our audience? Page 35, my third point, second paragraph. Your value is not based on what you do, but on who made you. God has determined our value because He made us. And fourth point is finally this. What do you think would happen to a person's life if Jesus Christ were the most important person in that person's life? I want to jump to page 38 and read this final statement. This is the choice we all face. We can continue to allow this mortal world to define who we are and what our lives are worth, with the knowledge that one day the world will invariably break our hearts, or alternatively, we can break the world's hold on our lives by relinquishing ourselves and our identity to become absolutely grounded in Christ's love and His commitment to our well-being. You know, we did talk about our commitment to Christ. More important than that, it's Christ's commitment to us, that He sees us good because He and the Father made us. He sees us as good. And it's not the audience of the people out there that we don't know. It's the audience of that God who wants desperately to know us, that relationship with God. So look at these 4 questions. Name a celebrity whose life has been ruined by a false audience. You probably only have an hour or a few minutes to talk, so you can't name them all. But name one. Someone whose life is ruined by a false audience. Second, what premise drives the world of marketing and advertising? What premise drives the world of marketing and advertising? Who is the audience for the man on the street? I'm sitting here looking at cars go by on the freeway. Who is that guy's audience? How would his life, and your life for that matter, be changed if God was the audience? Who is your audience? Who should it be? I hope that's helpful. We'll see you next time.